For this video, I'll show and tell you about the beach communities on Anna Maria Island. There are 3 different cities on this island, those being Anna Maria, Holmes Beach, and Bradenton Beach. At the end, I'll give a Chris livability score of the 3 cities combined, since they're all on the same island and they're all really small. That's if we ever get moving. Let's speed things up. Yeah, there we go, that's better. Well, this is the main route to Anna Maria Island, and it's the only way for vehicle traffic to reach the island, unless they come from the other beach communities to the south. Tourism on Anna Maria Island has only grown in the recent years. In 2020, they say that 680,000 people visited the island, whereas in 2021, as many as 970,000 people came through. These numbers are estimated off of the traffic at the Sarasota and Bradenton Airport, as the airport has seen a 156% boost in 2021 over 2020.
But nobody traveled anywhere in 2020, so that doesn't count.
Hold on, I was going to get to that point because since 2019, the airport has seen a 61% increase in traffic. So, Florida is just becoming a more and more popular place to visit, particularly the Sarasota and Bradenton area, in which Anna Maria Island is the highlight destination of the region. The other beach communities, such as Siesta, Lido, and Longboat Keys, aren't that far behind. By the way, if you enjoy this video and you want to see more videos on places like this, it would be a huge help to me if you hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button, people. Most of my videos at this point have been from the Midwest. People love my videos on the declining Rust Belt cities in particular, or any city that has a homeless issue. But on the flip side, it looks like people have been hating on the Florida videos. What is wrong with you people? Just kidding. I get it. Sort of. I find messed up places fascinating too. Well, anyway, I'm trying to go everywhere in this country, good and bad, so it would be a huge help if you hit that like button. Anyway, if you've ever been to Anna Maria Island or any of the other beach communities that I go through in this video, let me know what your experience has been like in the comments down below. I'd love to hear it. Alright, well, moving on now. We just crossed over the Anna Maria Sound along State Route 64. I was on a dolphin tour boat last year that went through the Sound, and the tour guide mentioned how the drawbridge lifts up at the same time every hour, or every 30 minutes or something like that. I can't remember exactly. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that I was stuck in that line of traffic for so long due to the drawbridge being opened at one point, and due to it being a weekend in the spring. A lot of people were probably there on spring break when I was there. But I was also stuck in traffic way before I started recording, so if you ever find yourself parked in traffic while entering Anna Maria Island, chances are that the drawbridge could be a contributor in slowing things down. However, State Route 64 enters Anna Maria Island in the city of Holmes Beach, which is one of 3 cities, and it's the largest beach town on Anna Maria Island. With that said, we're going to skip ahead to where we're in the city of Anna Maria, and then we're going to go south from there and talk more about Holmes Beach later in the video. Alright, so now we're near the Anna Maria City Pier, and we jumped forward a year. The pier is on the northeast side of the island along the tail end of Tampa Bay, which actually empties into the Gulf of Mexico right here. Documented history on Anna Maria Island goes all the way back to 1539 when Spanish explorer Hernando de Soto passed by it before landing in Bradenton on his exploration of North America. Before that, the land was used by the Caloosan and Timucuan Native American tribes. However, the first modern settler on Anna Maria Island was Madison Post, who was the 5th mayor of Tampa, serving in office from 1858 to 1859. Post named the island after his sister-in-law, Anna, and his wife, Maria. Post was only a temporary resident, however, and George Emerson Bean is actually credited for being the first permanent resident back in 1892, and because of that, the north point of the island is named Bean Point. George ended up passing away in 1898. However, Bean's son stayed on the island and partnered with Charles Roser to develop Anna Maria into being the resort community that we know it to be today. Roser actually invented the fig Newton in Ohio and became very wealthy from that. However, with that money, he decided to head down to Florida and he invested heavily in real estate, and that's how the island was able to be developed early on. There's actually a church in Anna Maria that's named after him, officially called Roser Memorial Community Church, and it still stands here today. Well, as I mentioned earlier, there are 3 cities on the island, and all of them are really small. Here's a map showing all 3 cities. Now, before I get into the census data and other economic stats for the city of Anna Maria, I want to point out that it might come to a surprise to the typical outsider that all 3 of these cities have seen a sharp decline in permanent population. With that said, there's been discussions among the local leadership about how to manage things going forward, including unincorporating all 3 of these cities and having them be a part of unincorporated Manatee County, or quite possibly have all 3 cities turn into one. Or a third option, yet highly unlikely, maybe all 3 cities will be annexed by the city of Bradenton. There hasn't been any serious action on any of these options, but it's common belief that something will change going forward, as it doesn't make much sense to have 3 separate tiny cities on the same island with declining population. Experts from the area say that there's been a trend of longtime homeowners on the island selling to investors to make a profit, while home values have never been higher. So even though the number of permanent residents has declined sharply, many of the homes today are still occupied as vacation rentals. The island was once home to 8,200 people back in 2000, however today, that number is down to 4,800. Despite the island losing about half of its population, Manatee County has been one of the fastest growing counties in the nation during this period, seeing a population of 264,000 in 2000, growing to a number as big as 429,000 by 2022. So while the island has lost half of its population over the last 20 years, Manatee County has doubled in population over the last 20 years. Regardless, tourism activity on Anna Maria Island remains at an all-time high, so you would never know that the population numbers have dropped so much when you visit. On to the numbers for the city of Anna Maria. You can see here that the census counts over the years just illustrate what I was explaining, with population peaking in 2000 at 1,800, and now it's down to 960. Well, here you can take a good look at the numbers, which are pretty much meaningless, as the average age of a resident for all 3 cities on Anna Maria Island is 65, so it's a bunch of retired folks living out their dream, and it's not really relevant to the average U.S. citizen. What really sticks out here is the median value of owner-occupied housing units, as it's at $952,000. That right there just shows you that despite the decline in population, there are no problems here whatsoever in keeping most homes occupied. When it comes to the crime rates, people have nothing to worry about here, and that must be nice. So basically, you can take your doors and roof off of your Jeep Wrangler or Ford Bronco, and you can leave a fat stack of cash sitting right on the seat while you go out onto the beach, and you'll have nothing to worry about at all. Okay, yeah, maybe don't do that, but you get the point. Once again, stay tuned until the end, where I'll give a Chris livability score on all 3 of the cities combined as a final analysis, if you will. You know, I've got to try to sound smart while I say that. This is some big time stuff. Alright, well, for the next few minutes I continue driving around the city of Anna Maria, and once I get to Holmes Beach, I will share more of my expertise on the place. All right, well, that didn't take long as we are now in Holmes Beach. Holmes Beach was first settled by Sam and Annie Cobb in 1896, and of course, they named their daughter Anna Maria. True story. A post office was established here in 1902, and the most interesting thing about the history of Holmes Beach is that an airstrip was built on the island in 1948 by a man named Jack Holmes. He also helped build a 600-acre residential community, and that's where the city's name comes from. Anyway, shortly after the airport was built, Hollywood came over, thanks to the airport, and used Anna Maria Island as a filming location for a film called On an Island with You. The airport was used for flying lessons as well. Anyway, the airport really helped Anna Maria Island grow in its early stages. However, when you look around on a Google satellite view of Anna Maria Island and when you drive around the island, you won't find an airport. That's because it lived a very short life. The reason why is because it wasn't in a good location and plane crashes were pretty common. In 1973, the state of Florida stepped in and demanded that the airport would be limited to the use of no more than helicopters until the city put a plan together for improvements. Well, the city of Holmes Beach never put together any plans, and the airport closed for good in 1974. Holmes Beach is a fairly young city as it wasn't incorporated until 1960. At the time, there were only 60 registered voters in what would become Holmes Beach. 46 voted yes on incorporating into a city, while 13 voted no, and 1 abstained. Well, after that, development was quick to follow. Here you can see the population history of Holmes Beach, as it peaked in 2000 at nearly 5,000 residents, and today it's down to 3,000. Just as with the city of Anna Maria, these stat numbers are mostly irrelevant as the median age of a Holmes Beach resident is 65. The only one that really matters to people would be the median value of owner-occupied housing units, which isn't near as high as what we saw in Anna Maria, but it's still really high. You have to be a big-time baller here to be able to own a place, that's for sure. Crime in Holmes Beach is nothing to worry about at all, so go ahead and drive your new Hyundai or Kia and leave your doors unlocked. In fact, swing the doors wide open and put a sticker on the window that says, "Free car to whoever wants it." And in fact, nobody will take it. To the right is the most popular public beach on Anna Maria Island, as it's located at the end of the Anna Maria Island Bridge, the same bridge that we drove across at the beginning of the video. So basically, this spot is the most convenient location for people visiting the island and enjoying the beach. And we are now in Bradenton Beach, which is the third and final city that we go through in this video. Bradenton Beach is sometimes referred to as Cortez by some old-timers in the area, as before Bradenton Beach was a city, the community was called Cortez Beach, and you can still see the name of Cortez being used on some parks and some buildings in the area. There's also a separate village called Cortez on the other side of the Anna Maria Sound from modern-day Bradenton Beach. The bridge connecting Bradenton Beach with the mainland is also called the Cortez Bridge. In the late 1920s, the unofficial name of Bradenton Beach started to be used, and in 1952, the city was incorporated as Bradenton Beach. In 1967, the Cortez Drawbridge was built, and it encouraged growth on the southern portion of Anna Maria Island. Bradenton Beach has a nice selection of restaurants and shops, along with a few nice long strands of public beaches along the coastline, making it a nice place to spend some time while on vacation. And when I was here, I found that this portion of Anna Maria Island was a lot less crowded than the north side of the island, and personally I preferred hanging out at the beaches down here. Anyway, Bradenton Beach today is the smallest community on the island when going by population. The city saw its peak in 1990 at 1,600, and today it's down to 900. For whatever it's worth, the economic stats here are the least impressive of the three cities, but once again, those don't matter much because all three of these towns are mostly retirement communities when it comes to the year-round population. What does matter to people is the median value of owner-occupied housing units, which is also the lowest of the three at 400,000. When it comes to the crime rates, I guess the crime rates are a little bit higher in Bradenton Beach than the other two cities, but I doubt that that's anything to really pay attention to with a population of only 900 and over 500,000 tourists coming in at the least every year, those numbers are potentially going to be out of proportion. And when it comes to the public schools, I guess that niche.com ranks the public schools for Bradenton Beach residents a C+, whereas the other two cities were Bs. I don't know. I mean, people probably aren't moving to Bradenton Beach with their families, so I mean, it's mostly a retirement community, so does that really matter? I don't know. Well, yeah, there you have it, Bradenton Beach, people. I thought it was pretty nice. Now I wanted to say this. It's hard to trust a lot of things in life, people. For example, you can't always trust the cleanliness of a gas station bathroom, and you can't always trust the quality of a product at Dollar General. But you can always trust Chris's livability score. When it comes to the education, there's one elementary school called Anna Maria Island Elementary, and that's it as far as traditional public schools go. However, it's a retirement community, so it's not like schools are needed. Plus, Manatee County schools aren't terrible, so we'll stay neutral here with a 10 out of 20. Moving on to crime, that's not an issue at all, it gets a 19 out of 20. Now, when it comes to the downtown, it gets complicated because all three cities combined kind of feel like the same city, and each city has at least one street that goes for several blocks with a nice selection of restaurants and shops. It just feels like one big beach town. However, you can park your car and walk around, as it's definitely pedestrian friendly pretty much everywhere you go on this island, so I'll give it a 13 out of 20. When it comes to the economy, there is no economy here, other than the tourism industry. People don't move here to advance their careers, they move here to slow down and watch the sunset over the Gulf. However, the homes here are really expensive, and all of the retirees bring all of their money with them, and so do the tourists. And since the tourism industry is so big here, remember, $1.3 billion in 2021, the economy gets a 12 out of 20. When it comes to recreational opportunities, if you like water, you'll love Anna Maria Island. It gets an 18 out of 20. Onto the history category, as Anna Maria Island has plenty of it. It gets a 13 out of 20. Amenities are next, and you could spend an entire week on the island and never get bored. It gets a 17 out of 20 there. Now here's where the big issue is, and that is cost of living. Now, if you're a trust fund kid and you get your law degree early and win a lot of cases in Tampa, then sure, you could afford to buy and live on Anna Maria Island, no problem. But there really isn't a strong economy in the Bradenton and Sarasota area at all. There's not one dominant industry, and there's not a large talent pool of young professionals. And with insurance rates being jacked up across the state, you're much better off looking further inland in either Sarasota or Bradenton, so cost of living gets a big fat 0 out of 20. All in all, Anna Maria Island gets a Chris livability score of 106 out of 160. Remember, this includes all three cities, Anna Maria, Bradenton Beach, and Holmes Beach. This score puts it above the only other city that I've done this with so far, that city being Wildwood, Missouri, which is a much different place than Anna Maria Island, Florida. But it's a really nice place at that. With that said, I do end the video here. And stay tuned for next Friday's video when I go across this bridge and I check out Longboat and Lido Keys. Once again, do me a favor, as if you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, as doing all of those things helps these videos destroy the evil monster that is the YouTube algorithm. Also make sure to hit that notification bell and select yes, so that you can be notified every time that I upload a new video. If you enjoyed this video, then you might enjoy checking out some of the featured playlists on this channel. Videos with amazing insights on other places like what you saw here can be found in my Florida playlist, my Gulf Coast playlist, or in my Sarasota and Bradenton area playlist. Last but not least, if you can't get enough of me on here, you can always go follow me on my other social media accounts, and those links are below. We'll see you next time. Peace.